welcome back to the channel. It's Lit Life with Miranda Reads, and today we're talking about places where you can get free or close to free books for your reading enjoyment. This video will focus mainly on where you can get physical copies of books, but there are a few places for ebooks or audiobooks that I couldn't resist throwing in. The first couple might be a bit obvious to people, but we all gotta start somewhere. And that place is the library. Libraries are a vast, untapped, and underutilized resource for the avid reader. Now, if you're like me, you're likely to read a book once, but that's not a guarantee that you'd want to read it again and again and again. And that's why libraries are very useful. You can check out a book, read it, and then bring it back. Libraries literally save me thousands of dollars a year because of this. To get a library card, often you need your ID and then a piece of mail to indicate your address. But it's often worth calling ahead to your local library to double check. Once you have your card, and depending on your local library rules, you can check out books to your heart's content. If your library doesn't have your specific book in stock, you can often be put on a wait list or request it from a nearby library, which will then get sent to your library. What might surprise some folks is that libraries frequently also have magazines, comics, mangas, movies, TV shows, and sometimes even video games and craft supplies that you can check out to try. One thing that I was kind of into before the pandemic, but then got really into during the pandemic, was the digital library. There is an app called Libby that can connect you to your state's digital library. All you need to do is download it onto your phone, log in with your library card, and from there you'll have access to a vast array of books available to anyone in your state. If you're into the classics and other books written with expired copyrights, then you're in for a treat because those books are almost always available and rarely have restrictions placed on how many copies can be out at a time. For other books, it's a bit harder to predict the availability because of copyright and other various legal excuses. Libraries don't have unlimited copies of ebooks and audiobooks. They will often buy a certain number of licenses or copies, and then it's first come, first serve from there, with the option of being put on a wait list if all of the books are currently being checked out. Some libraries will let you request books before they come out, so you're first in line for the latest hit novel, and some libraries will take note of which books are most popular and buy more copies as needed. Most of the times, I don't have too much of an issue getting something that I'm interested in, but if you find yourself struggling to get copies, or if there aren't a lot of books available in your digital library, there are other options for you. You can purchase an out-of-state library card, which will allow for a small fee for you to have access to the digital library in a different state. While I haven't personally tried this route, other folks online have told me that it works really well when their own libraries are lacking. Further expanding on libraries, have you ever passed a little free library placed outside someone's home or school? These are typically boxy structures with a slanting roof and a little door made of glass that showcase a hodgepodge number of books. These little free libraries are part of a nonprofit organization designed to provide free books across communities and neighborhoods. They currently boast 150,000 plus little free libraries and are always looking to expand to more locations. You can go to their website in order to see which ones are in your neighborhood, or just kind of keep an eye out as you drive in and around your area. Unlike a regular library where you have to have a card to swipe and check out a book, little free libraries request that if you want to take a book, you should leave another book in its place. And this is something that I've personally used many times. But as you can predict, you can't really know what will be in the library until you get there. Swinging back to the digital side, there are a ton of websites you can go to for free ebooks and audiobooks. So much that this could easily be its entire video. Just as a starter for free ebooks, I want to introduce Project Gutenberg, which is an online library of ebooks. You can download copies of all kinds of famous books, from the most popular one, which is Pride and Prejudice, unsurprisingly, to A Secret Garden, to Dracula, Frankenstein, Metamorphosis. There's so much variety. One really nice thing is that when you click a book of interest, you can choose what kind of format you download the book as. The HTML format would be like reading the book in your browser, like a website. But if you have an e-reader or an app like the Kindle one, you can pick the right format, download that book onto your device, and read it as you like. Now, for audiobooks, a surprising location recommendation I have is YouTube. The books you'll find for free on YouTube typically will be public domain, meaning that they are no longer under copyright. One channel that I've listened to is LibriVox. The books read on LibriVox are by volunteers, and then once they are read, they are released to the public via their YouTube channel. As you can imagine, there can be some variation when it comes to quality of narrator, but at the same time, this is 100% free, and all you need to access these books is the internet. Another channel I found is Greatest Audiobooks. This one does release of shorts, skits, and reviews, but it also has full readings of books that are easily found by sorting the videos by popularity. Now, moving on to using the internet to find physical copies of books, and for that, my answer is book swaps. Book swap websites allow you to trade one book for another, so kind of like the little free library, but you know what you're getting into. Before I get into too much detail, I should mention that in general, books that are exchanged on these sites, they tend to be close to free, but you still have to pay postage. One nice thing about sending like a strictly book package, it qualifies for USPS Media Mail. For USPS Media Mail, you can send out only books or other forms of media like a CD or a DVD for a fraction of a regular priced package. Going back to the book swap websites, the first one, Paperback Swap, deals with a variety of books. So there's paperbacks like the name says, but also hardcovers and audiobook CDs. To use this system, you have to make an account and then add a list of books that you currently own and are ready to swap. Once someone has chosen a book that you listed, the website will let you know via email who wants it and their address. From there, you'll mail the book to their house, and once the book is sent and received by the new owner, you will receive 1 credit if it was a book, 2 credits if it was an audiobook CD version, and 3 credits if it was an international send. Those credits can then be used by yourself to request a book to be sent to your house. For that, the sender will pay postage to your home. The website also allows you to make a wish list if the books you desire are not currently available, and they'll notify you if and when it becomes available. Paperback Swap is one of those websites that it's close to being free, so you can get new books very, very cheap. So if you have a brand new account, you can get 2 credits right off the bat if you add 10 books to your shelf that you're willing to send out. From there, you have to sign up for a membership. Now, the a la carte membership doesn't require a yearly subscription, but it does charge 49 cents per swap after the initial 2 free books. The limited membership is a $12 annual fee and allows for 30 free swaps, with the 49 cents charge coming into play after the 30th. And the standard member has a $20 membership, but it comes with an unlimited number of swaps. So while this isn't totally free, it does provide a very low-cost way to get new books. Mooch is a similar site, but it has a slightly more complicated point system for exchanging books. After you make an account, you will receive a 1/10 of a point for every book that you've listed and that you're willing to send away. And then you'll also get 1 point once someone requests and you send your book to them. In order to use this site, you do need to give away 1 book per every 2 you receive, and you need to pay postage when sending a book out. But other than that, it is a free system. Like Paperback Swap, you can write up a wish list to notify yourself when these desired books are available. Now, these are just 2 of dozens, if not hundreds, of book exchange websites out there. And surprisingly, or maybe unsurprisingly, there are websites like this, but with a twist. Book hopping, which adds a little bit more variety and excitement to the mix. The major website I found associated with book hopping is called Book Crossing. They revolve more around giving away books and tracking who else reads them over time compared to a strictly swapping website. For Book Crossing, any book on your physical shelf that you have and you want to give away can be added to their system. Once it is added, it is given a unique ID that will be permanently attached to the book. From there, the next step is called releasing. According to their website, there are two kinds of release. A controlled release, which is giving a book directly to another book crossing member, and the other option is an into the wild release, where you find a place to drop off the book and presumably someone will pick it up for a read. The cool connecting part about this is the online book journal that can be read by other people all over the world by looking up the ID tag for your book. I actually found out about this website by picking up a wild release, The Art of Racing in the Rain in case you're curious, from my local little free library. And I thought it was just a really fun way to interact with books and the internet. There are ways on this site to share books or to hunt for books in your neighborhood that have been released. But for the most part, it's focused on releasing your own, tracking the progress, and then also a social media aspect where you can talk about your experience reading it with others. And there you have it. 9 different ways that you can get free or almost free books for your reading enjoyment. Thank you so much for watching and happy reading. Bye.